Oh, we're live. Apologies. Was just getting the old coffee machine up and running. Cheers, guys. Happy Friday. Apology. How long have we been sat here?
No, like 10 seconds, man.
Oh, okay, fair enough. How are you, mate? Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday, man. Happy Friday. Hopefully you're well, mate. Hopefully you're well. I seen you seem to be having a good time this week, man. I've been watching you on Instagram, bro. I get so jealous, man. I might have to mute you on Instagram, mate, because when I'm sitting here, yeah. So honestly, bro, the weather this week has been horrendous. The cold is here, like we're talking 7 degrees now. It's raining, and I go on Instagram, League on it, and I'm watching you on a beach eating some fucking fresh fish or some chips. A couple of cervezas.
Fish and Arsenal, bro.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this cunt.
It's currently 23 degrees here, Lewis, just to rub it in a bit more, mate. Pure sunshine. It's glorious.
It's 8 degrees here, man.
Wow. My Insta, for anyone asking, Lee Gunner 82. Lee Gunner 82. But listen, there's 250 people in here. So firstly, smash these likes up. And we've on 56 likes at the minute. Make sure you are subscribing to Lewis's channel as well. The link is in the title. Also, the pinned comment. It's imperative that you subscribe to one of my best friends in the world. Him and his future wifey, his fiance Nicole, have set up a channel. They're vlogging. They're going all over the place. They're in Dubai. They're in Thailand at the moment. That they've quit their, well, I say they've quit their jobs. Connor runs his own business, but yeah, they're traveling all over the world. So listen, make sure you go and sub to their channel, people. Yeah, last night he was on 14 subs. He's on about 60 odd now. So let's get him up to 100 by the end of this stream, man. And like I said, he's a really good mate of mine. Known him for about 15 years, and top geezer as well. So yeah. Anyway, now we've done enough plugging of channels. Oh, one more channel. Lee Reacts is literally less than 40 away from 21k. So head over to Lee Reacts as well. I'm considering doing a watch along for Bilbao Celta Vigo tonight. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. But on the weekend, Sunday, I'll be doing both the Sunday games, Liverpool and then obviously the City game. But before we get into the City game, Lewis, I've caused outrage on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it.
Oh, what have you done now, mate?
Well, I'll tell you. In fact, I'll show you. I'll show you, because this is a damning indictment of the state of my football club. So, it looks like Kai Havertz got the opportunity to Win the dog home. Look how sad this dog looks, by the way. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share the screen. Look how sad that dog looks, mate. No, honestly, what poor little thing, man. Mad. Well, anyway.
It's a nice dog, to be fair, bro.
Yeah, Labrador.
A Labrador, yeah.
So I've quoted it. Remember when you was at school and the class gerbil was passed around from week to week to the students? This club is a shambles. 29's turn to win home. Yeah, how about F off? Mate, the comments on that, the quotes, the comments. Hilarious. The amount of people this has gone over their head. You're so miserable. You're getting rattled by a dog. You're 45 years old. Who started this trend on Twitter? That anyone who's over the age of 25, you're 45. These tapped up weirdos, mate. Yeah, I think these people have forgotten this is a football club, not a social club. Like, unbelievable, man. Yeah, yeah. Call the RSPCA, bro. Hey, the dog's got more movement than the German giraffe, bro. I'll tell you, it is crazy, bro. I think a lot of people have forgotten this is a football club. And to have the audacity, it's like, listen, take the dog home, do what you got to do. It's not about taking the dog home. It's about the fact we have a dog. Yeah. Whilst Man City are out here winning trebles, we're promoting dogs. Like, what do you make of it, bro? Like, looking as an outsider, as a City fan, what do you make of Arsenal Football Club with all of this dogs and phases and what? Like, genuinely, what do you think of all this?
I don't know, mate. It's I just don't. Yeah, the dog, bro. Like, why? Just like, listen, I like the dog, man. Cute looking dog, nice looking dog, very sick dog. You know what I mean? Little Labrador. But yeah, it's sort of like, why? Why have Arsenal Football Club, you know, a massive club, one of the biggest football clubs in the world, why have they got a dog? You know what I mean? It's like, it's meant to be a a professional football club where, you know, it's serious. Now, listen, who knows? Maybe Arteta's onto something. Maybe in 5 years' time, we'll all be looking back at Win and thinking, Win, that little brown Labrador was the first dog to set the trend. Maybe, Lee, in 5 years' time, you'll be sitting here on the stream eating your words about this dog. But I have a
maybe we're
feeling
trend setting, Lewis. Maybe we are going to start the trend of having a dog at the training ground, and this is going to kick everyone on, and everyone's going to compete for trophies every year. Maybe that's a thing. You know, maybe it's revolutionary what Arteta is doing.
I don't know. I just think it's listen. I just find it strange. I find it strange. I think Arteta's a bit of a weird guy. He has unique sort of training methods, and I mean, you watched. Everyone's probably seen the Amazon documentary, and there was some fucking weird shit in there with the light bulb. I mean, I've never seen anything so weird in my life. But listen, it's his way. I don't think having a dog is something that Arsenal should be focused on. I think Arsenal should be focused on recruiting better players, and as you said, try and win trophies. But I just think it's a bit strange. Whose dog is it, man? Is it so? Who owns the dog? You know, whose dog is that dog?
I have no idea. I'll keep asking this question. I swear this club are doing this just to rattle me every day, right? Because I swear they watch my fan cams or something. I know they watch the channel. Yeah, like they watch everyone's channels. Man City media team will be watching you and other City content creators. Yeah, it's a thing now. They do it at every club, and they search and scan social media every day to get the vibes. Yeah, but I've asked this question a lot after the game against West Ham. Yeah. I said, Ben White has turned into Ben Shite since he's dyed his hair silver. He needs to dye his hair back. Next game at Newcastle, he's dyed his hair back, right? Then I swear to God, the other night on my watch along, I said, I guarantee, I'm not calling him by his name, I'm calling him 29 from now on. Yeah, I said, I guarantee 29 gets to take the dog home. Yeah, the very next day he's taking the dog home. Bro, I swear they're doing it to wind me up. Like, literally. But you know what's more worrying, yeah? It's the fact that all of the quotes in the comments, yeah, my mate Jolin, big up Jolin, he said to me, he goes, comments are like, you know, that's where you can gauge the reaction and stuff like that, yeah. And he said, and that tells you everything right there. It's gone straight over their heads, yeah, and the infestation is complete, and we'll never turn the club back because they're more interested in a dog than they are trophies. They're more interested in cussing me for calling out having a dog. Yeah, it ain't about taking a dog home. We shouldn't have one in the first place. Yeah, this is an elite level football club apparently. Yeah, and we're poncing around with a dog. Who picks up the poo at Colney, bruv? Right, they take it in turns. Like, it's mad. It is actually insane. I've never known anything like it, mate. Like, after the game the other night, bend it like Bukayo. Like, turn it in, mate. Like, these football clubs, this is why I rate City, mate. You don't do any of these gimmicks, man. It's just straight up win. Yeah, actually win. And how ironic that we brought that dog after we bottled a title. Yeah, and since then, we've played crap. They're laughing in our faces, mate. They're laughing in our faces.
What I don't understand is like, I don't get, because I'm reading the comments now, I don't understand why so many people are giving you shit and are not sitting there questioning why Arsenal Football Club, I repeat, why Arsenal Football Club have a dog. You know what I mean? It's like, I just, I don't get it. I think, yeah, they're missing the point, innit? They don't really understand the purpose.
Yeah, but that's because most people on the planet are thick, Lewis. Yeah. Like, and then it's more about vibes and emotional attachment to single individual players or managers these days. Yeah, and it's not about having an elite mentality to try and win stuff because that's toxic and negative. Hector Bellerin told us many, many years ago, Alexis Sanchez wants to win too much. Do you know what I mean? Like, but these people, man, here's what it is. They've buried our football, well, my football club anyway, your football club. I see you calling out the club every now and again when you have to on certain things, or calling out journalists here and there when you have to. Yeah. I see Madrid fans calling out their manager the other day after they drew with Vallecano at home. I see Bayern Munich fans calling out their manager when they got knocked out the cup the other day. Yeah, but we're not allowed to do that in England because it's toxic and negative. Yeah, I'll give another example. Saeed, yeah, did a video on his, well, it was on his channel, but it was then clipped up and put on his Insta and TikTok saying Rashford is a disgrace. He's standing outside Old Trafford in the peeing down rain after watching Man United get beaten. Right, and he was calling Rashford a disgrace. Ian Wright, of all people, is cussing him on his Instagram, saying this is an attack. This isn't criticism. This is a personal attack. What's it got to do with him?
When's he done that? I've not seen that.
This is a Manchester United fan in Manchester, Yeah, who's paid his money to go and watch that crap again, calling out a footballer on nearly 400 grand a week for doing nothing again. Yeah, and you're saying this, yeah, damn right, it's a personal attack. Shut up and worry about squirking for Arsenal and wheeling out more merch, mate. Yeah, leave him alone. It's got to do with you. Yeah, if Saeed wants to say anything about Man United, who's he to get involved? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'm sick and tired of it. Why can't you criticise Rashford? Why are these players suddenly immune to criticism?
Well, I think some of the players probably have mates in the pundit industry, if we're being real, because I don't understand why you wouldn't be able to criticise Rashford. I mean, who's sitting there and saying Rashford's having a good season? He's not having a good season. So naturally, the next thing that you would do is say, you need to get better, bro. You know what I mean? You're not good enough. And the thing is with Rashford is that Rashford not often, sometimes shows this sign of promise, like last year. But ultimately, he's done that his whole career. The guy's, 26 now? He's done this his whole career. He'll have a decent season every now and again. Ultimately, it sort of pains me to say this, United are a massive club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. They need players who consistently perform. So if you're not consistently performing, you got to be called out. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I think standards have dropped with a lot of football clubs, in my view. And you see it everywhere where, you see it with United, you see it with Chelsea. Some Chelsea fans happy to go along with what's currently going on and, say, oh, it's the process. In 2 to 3 years, when all these young players get to 24, 25, 26, they'll all be fine. Well, that's not how football works. I said this about Chelsea so many times. If that's how football worked, no club would sign any player over 23 because they've just signed all the 20-year-olds. And then in 3 years, everyone would have a minty. That's not how football works.
Everyone would be retired by 25, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and people say, oh, yeah, but the team will get better next year. Like when Arsenal fans said to me at the start of the season, yeah, but Arsenal will get better this year. That's not how football works. There's no guarantee that you do. It's not just a linear process. Teams just don't get better and better and better. Otherwise, the 99 Manchester United treble winning side would have won everything since 1999. Because according to you, team gets better every single week. That's not how football works, man. Football is ups and downs. And what you're looking for is a steady upwards trajectory with the little troughs in the middle. But ultimately, what you have to do in that period is you have to look at who is not good enough to be at this football club. And sometimes you have to make harsh decisions. So, for example, I'll go use my club as an example. Zinchenko, good player for Manchester City over the years, but ultimately wasn't quite good enough, in my view, to stay there for 10 years. Because ultimately, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for a player that can come into your club and perform 10 years. Gabriel Jesus, great footballer. Is he good enough to be winning Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues year in, year out? Because ultimately, that is the goal, right? That is the goal. And the answer to that question is no. So he has to leave. You got to constantly make really difficult choices. And I think some clubs have gone soft on it, bro. And Rashford, 100%. In my opinion, is a great example. I don't think he should be at United. I don't think he's good enough.
100%. But the problem is PR is a massive thing in football. PR is a massive thing in anything. If you can control the narrative, yeah, if you can control the narrative, yeah, then you've won. It's as simple as that. Yeah, when you've got all these journalists in your back pocket, which these big football clubs do now in England, like this is why I like listening to Pep in press conferences. You don't ask him dumb questions because you wouldn't be allowed back in there. Yeah, you ask proper questions. Yeah, none of this. Oh, will the goalkeeper's surname whose begins with R be playing in goal at the weekend? Like Pepper just say, what the hell are you waffling about, mate? Yeah, but that's because it's an elite level winning machine. Yeah, Real Madrid press conferences, they absolutely annihilate Ancelotti in them. I watch him every week. They ruin him, mate. Yeah, yes, they will ask some dumb questions here and there, but he's too long in the tooth to be sitting there mucking around with dead questions. Yeah, they're there to win. Yeah, ironically, win. Yeah, they ain't got a dog yet. But when I listen to Tottenham, Man United, and Arsenal press conferences here and there, it's just embarrassing some of the questions they're asked. But that's because they're controlled by the club. And these 3 clubs in particular have realised, do you know what? We can get these journalists in our back pocket. They've got massive followings on social media. The fans will listen to these journalists if we give them snippets of information about transfer news and stuff like that. You've got journalists out here that are twerking for Arsenal in press conferences, writing books about Arteta. Yeah, Arteta's revolution. What do you mean revolution? He's won 1 trophy 4 years ago, mate. Like, where was this for Unai Emery? Yeah, where was this for anyone else? Like, and then when you call it out, because they've controlled the narrative so much and got the masses on side that can't think for themselves, like the cheap, yes, Mikel, because they've got them people on side. Anyone who calls it out like me, you're negative. Yeah, instantly you're negative. You're toxic. You're a Spurs fan. Yeah, you're 45 years old. Like, get an original answer, you fucking idiot. Like, honestly, if that's the case, have a bit of respect for your elders then, isn't it? Right, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, but when you've got the thickest people on the planet being controlled by the PR machine that is Arsenal Football Club, you've got the ex-players like Ian Wright that are adored by Arsenal fans, you can control the narrative very easily. And then anyone who calls out the BS, 31 years no League Cup, 30 years no trophy in Europe, 20 years no league title, 4 years no FA Cup. Why is everyone happy? Everyone's happy because the vibes and the culture have changed. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. We were happy. This fan base were happy losing under Wenger. Now they're just happy losing under Arteta. Like, not winning anything under. At least Wenger was nicking cups here and there and playing decent football.
I've got
boring football and winning nothing.
I've got a little bit of a theory on this, and it's probably beyond my pay grade, Lee. But I'm going to throw it out there anyway, right? And I think one of the reasons why some fans, and this isn't just specifically related to Arsenal, but apply this to Arsenal just for a second, right? Given that you're an Arsenal fan. Say you're a fan who wants to be positive, right? And by the way, I got no problem with that. You know what I mean? We all want to be positive. We don't want to come on streams and go to football matches and go, we're fucking shit. We never know. We want to be positive, right? But for example, if you take the project at Arsenal, right? The Arteta phases, and you've bought into that from day one, and you've been a fan who said, it's going to take us 5-6 years to win the league, and you don't win the league this year, right? And you don't win the league next year. What you then have to do as a person, as a human, is then assess whether or not you were right originally in backing the plan. And if you then change your mind and say, I wasn't right in backing the plan, you've got to accept that you've just wasted the last 6 years and that your football club has just wasted the last 6 years. And that is very difficult for people to do. It is very difficult for someone to sit there and accept that they've backed an incorrect process, an incorrect project, and therefore the last 6 years of the project has been a complete and utter waste. Because no one wants to do that, Lee. No one wants to sit here and go, you know what? I've backed the wrong thing.
I was wrong.
I was wrong, and we have just wasted the last 6 years. Because ultimately, if you don't win the league this year, right? Because this is something that I always try and ask Arsenal fans who are Arteta in, right? If you don't win the league this year, because ultimately, right, obviously you didn't win the league last year, you should have won it. The expectation then surely this year is to win the league. And you made £100 million signing in Rice, you spent £65 million on Havertz, you signed Timber, who unfortunately got injured, right? So you'd expect the next step to win the league. If you don't win the league this year, are you then Arteta out? If not, why? If you don't win it next year, are you then Arteta out? If not, why? At what point do you become, as a fan, say, surely the aim is to win, and we're not winning, and it's 7 or 8 years down the line? Because then they have to accept that the whole process has failed. And I don't think people can do that. So I think people just go along with it. And I don't think, I think it takes a brave person, Lee, to stand up and say, you know what, I've backed this for 6 years, but I don't think this is the right way. I'm changing my mind. It takes a brave person to do that. And I think that's why people just go along with it.
Mate, and not only, you're spot on, by the way, not only that, people feel part of something. Since the whole COVID thing, where nobody could go for 2 years, it's not about the results at Arsenal anymore. It's about a social event, a social gathering. Oh, I'm going to meet me pals. We never know, this might not be a thing for another 2 years at any point. So we're just going to enjoy it. Win or lose, we're on the booze and all of that crap. Like, we're just going to have good times. I'm going to see me pals down the Arsenal. Like, come on, man. At what point do you realise, we went 9 years without a trophy under Wenger. And for after that 9 years, a lot of this fan base wanted him gone. He then wins the FA Cup, and a lot of this fan base still wanted him gone. He then wins another FA Cup, and we still wanted him gone. Like, bro, it's mad. It's actually mad. He then wins another FA Cup, and we still wanted him gone. And it's like, come on, man. Like, at the end of the day, this fan base have been absolutely infested, polluted, and brainwashed. Subconsciously, like, brainwashed by this football club, by ex-players, by PR, and by top four being bigger than an FA Cup or a League Cup. And what winds me up, when we got knocked out of the League Cup the other day, it don't matter. It don't matter. Well, hold on a minute. If it don't matter, why were you watching it, number one? If it don't matter, why are you jumping up and down, shaking your batty, for a glorified soccer aid that we got in for by default, right, and beat City on penalties? Why are you twerking for that? But that don't matter. Like, bro, their arguments are so dead and weak. Why don't they just say, I fancy half the players, I fancy the manager, I fancy the dog, and I've got nothing else going on in my life, so I feel like I'm part of a family, when I can talk to absolute strangers online, right? And I feel better about my weekend if Arsenal are playing. Why don't they just say that? And I'd go, yeah, cool, fair enough. But instead, they sit there chatting absolute garbage, bro. And the thing is, we could go another 10 years without winning anything. They'd still want this manager in. They'd still want him in. Because the way it's been spun,
that's what I'm saying.
Emotionally have twisted their heads into, oh, it's good vibes. Oh, look at the dog. Oh, but we've got the best looking squad. Like, bend it like Bakayo. Like, so happy birthday, Sambi. Like, get in the bin, man. Yeah, I'm sick to death of this, bro. Yeah, and do you know what's mad? You only need about 15% of the fan base, probably not even that, to absolutely go exactly how I am on it, and he'll be gone. But there ain't 15% there yet. Yeah, I'll tell you something. If Tottenham or Aston Villa finish anywhere near or above Arsenal this season, I think there will be 15%. Yeah, because if Aston Villa finish above Arsenal this season, by whatever means they finish above Arsenal, yeah, I'll tell you now, Unai Emery in 18 months has got above Arsenal after 4.5 years. Yeah, all of a sudden eyebrows have to be raised and people have to start questioning that. Yeah, Maddison's out for 1 to 3 months now, apparently. Yeah, so that's a big blow for them. But again, they've only got one game a week. Yeah, when we had one game a week, we finished 8th or 5th, didn't we? Like, I think we finished 5th. One game a week. Let's see where they finish with one game a week with a worse squad. It just winds me up, mate. Yeah, youngest team in the league. I big up Ola and HM for the donations as well, guys. Appreciate it, man. Make sure you sub to Ola's channel, Fight Week Show. But yeah, it just winds me up, man. It really does. And I'm just sick to death of this constant crap. Like, I'll give another example, right? Tottenham, when they played the other night against Chelsea, after the game, their Twitter account posted out, "We're proud of you," with a little love heart, like with the hands. "We're proud of the guys. We fought till the end." You're supposed to fight to the end. Then they posted out yesterday. They posted out yesterday 3 of their players in the canteen, their training ground, all cuddling each other. Family. Last time I checked, none of them are related. Then last time I checked, none of you lot are related to them. So you're not a family. Stop this whole family thing. You're not a family. They don't care about you. They don't know you exist. They just want your money. Yeah, and if you ain't going to pay it, somebody else will. Yeah, and if they ain't going to pay it, somebody else will. But they play on the emotions of a fan. Yeah, family. You're not a family. Daniel Levy couldn't give 2 Fs about you, mate, as long as you're paying. If you're not paying money, he don't care. And if you are paying money, he still don't care, because if you stop, somebody else will. Yeah, family. Oh, then what do you think? Like, what winds me up as well, yeah? They have 15 minutes at half-time team talk, but then the players come back out on the pitch and they all stand round in a huddle. Yeah, so they do that. Yeah. And I'm like, why didn't you do that in the dressing room? You're doing that for an Instagram post or for a Twitter post that when you win the game, together, like, piss off, man.
I said this about your football club last year, and no one really backed me on it. I didn't. I thought Arsenal last year went around winning the league in the wrong way. You know, you had Zinchenko making huddles every 5 minutes, trying to get them pumped. I think you went the wrong way. I think you needed calm heads. You know, when you conceded a goal, I think Zinchenko was actually at fault for one of the goals. It was towards the end of the season.
Yeah, Southampton.
And then he called a huddle in the middle of the game. And
nobody's even listening to him.
No one was even listening to him. I actually think that was the complete wrong thing. I actually think what you needed to do in that situation was you conceded a goal, everyone just look at each other and go, relax. Fucking relax, chill out, boys.
We're better than them. Let's just play our game.
Yeah, and what happened is you were riling yourself up too much, where you started doing stupid stuff. And of course, like you see in the West Ham game where you crumbled days, and obviously the Southampton game, because you had all this pent-up energy and frustration and anger. Why? Because you was calling huddles every 2 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, that was the wrong thing to do. You needed to chill out, relax. It's a game of football, boys. We've conceded a goal. Guess what? It's football. That happens. Let's just do our thing. And if ultimately, if the manager's coach us in the right way and we back ourselves as the players on the pitch, we'll win the game. Don't worry about that. And it's very rare that you see City players. I'm using City, by the way, not only because I'm a City fan, but obviously we are the bar. We just won the treble. Very rare that you see City concede a goal and do huddles, or you see Ruben Diaz going round and going like this.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen City doing a huddle.
The only time we really do it,
no.
The only time we ever do it is right at the start of the game. That's it. But it's very rare we can see the goal when you see Diaz going around doing this, or like, you know, getting the huddles. No, we just go, right, don't worry, it's football. It's football. Yeah. You concede goals. It's, you know, if you've got to have a huddle and chat to everyone every time you concede a goal, then for me, that tells me that something ain't right.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Unless you're expected to not concede a goal every game.
Not only that, when you look at the fact that we've gone from Tony Adams, Vieira, Odegaard's now our captain. Yeah, we've got Zinchenko in our squad. Mad emotional, that guy. Yeah, crying and stuff like that all the time. Yeah, we've seen how emotional he is when he sat doing podcasts all summer. Like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, we've got emotional players in our team, and that leads to dumb shit on the pitch. Like, it's crazy, bro. It really is. Yeah, and the fact is, like, you're right. When I looked at that Invincible team, or even the teams before that, bro, they weren't doing huddles after conceding goals. They just look around at each other and know, right, do you know what? The standards have dropped here, lads. Let's just get a foothold in this game again. We're better than this lot. Yeah, I remember got that Beckham documentary. He said when he went to Madrid, yeah, that Galacticos team, they went 1-0 down to some dead team. I can't even remember who it was, Getafe or someone. Yeah, and he said all the players, R9, Guti, all of that lot, they're just all laughing. They're all walking back to the halfway line laughing. And he's like, said to R9, why are you laughing? He goes, we're going to score in a minute, mate. Just relax. And then they went and battered them. And it's like, that's cool because they're top players. When you've got emotional wrecks at your football club, yeah, when you've got players at your football club that ain't the standard to even be at the football club, yeah, that is exactly what you get. You get an implosion at the end of a season. We were fantastic last season for most of it. Yeah, and I got sucked into thinking we would win the league. Yeah, but ultimately, yeah, I can see why we didn't. Yeah, and when you have a squad of players that are extremely young, right, in comparison to, say, other teams out there, you are going to have up and down results. I get that. But you're also only doing a young squad to play on the younger fan base, the younger side of the fan base, because they feel part of something. So they're all about the same age as the players. Yeah. And not only that, you can control the players a lot easier when they're 23 and 24 than you can when they're 28 and 29. Yeah. Like, and they're going to talk back. No, boss. No, I don't want to play left wing back if you're a Aubameyang. Up and down the left wing at 30 years old. What's that all about? Put him in the box, he'll score you goals. Yeah, he proved that under Emery. Yeah, when you've got Kieran Tierney, a treble winner. Yeah, surely he wants to play, and you're playing Zinchenko over him. Surely he's going to have an issue with that. Yeah, so he's out of the club. And these young players are sitting there, seeing every single time a player's piped up, they're out the football club. So they're just, yes, boss, no, boss, okay, boss. But now when you look at it, some of these players have been under this manager 4 years. When does it get to the point where some of these players stop believing? Yeah, stop believing in the manager and start questioning some of his decisions. Yeah, because I'm quite sure Gabriel Martinelli and Bukayo Saka want to win trophies.
Well, let me come in on that then, Lee, because that's a great point. So, at the moment, I still think a lot of these players at Arsenal back the manager. But why? A lot of them haven't won anything. So, they've got no other reason to not back the manager because they don't know anything really different. And obviously, they finished second last year. They probably thought that was a great achievement, which it was in a degree at the start of the season, but ultimately it was a failure towards the end. Here's a point that I've got. You've got some players at Arsenal. Let's not kid ourselves, that are good players, right? You look at Saka, you look at Martinelli, even Jesus. He might get fed up of being at Arsenal and decide to get off to a club that wins trophies, right? I'm sure there's other players in there as well, right? Even I know you're not a massive fan, but even Odegaard can probably go somewhere. If one of them players, say we get to this summer, this is all hypothetical, guys. Don't cook me. I'm just putting this out there as a thing that could happen. If, say, we get to the summer and Martinelli or Saka, right? Just use one of them as an example. Goes, you know what? We ain't going to win trophies here. I ain't going to win trophies here. I've got offers from Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG, City, whatever. I'm going to leave. At that point, do you think some of the other players in the dressing room might go, he's left because we ain't winning trophies? I now don't really believe in this manager. A couple of bad results, and it's like, I know why he left now. because we ain't going to win. At the moment, who've you lost? Have you lost any key players from this squad? You not, have you?
Not really, because Tierney weren't a starter.
No, exactly.
Aubameyang was not really doing it.
And he was getting on.
Lacazette was a starter at times, but again, this not hyping up Eddie Nketiah.
Yeah.
A finished Lacazette is better than Eddie Nketiah.
Exactly.
But they have the standards for Lacazette that he don't score any goals, but he's got work rate. Yeah. But now they're putting Eddie on the pedestal, but he don't score any goals and he's got work rate. Well, what's the difference? Well, they just love the fact that he's younger and they can buy into that. He's come through our academy after Chelsea's. Yeah. And they love this project youth. Yeah. And again, it comes back to the emotional connection. Yeah. They're desperate for a youth project to work. When has a youth project ever worked? Like even Man United, the class of 92, they had Ince, Cantona, Pallister, Bruce. Schmeichel was in goal. Was it Schmeichel? I can't remember. Maybe not. I can't remember. But they had top players in there like that were of an age. Mark Hughes, I think, was still there at that point. They still had proper players in that club that were older, and then they integrated them youngsters in there. Yeah, and it's like our whole squad, barring Jorginho, El Neni, players like that, yeah, are pretty young. And like I said, it's easy to control young players. Yeah, look at Ten Hag, prime example of that. Yeah, Ajax. Yeah, them players are on next to no wages at Ajax in comparison to Man United. Now he's controlling players that are on 300, 200, 250 a week that are serial winners at Real Madrid. Yeah, Ronaldo, yeah, got him out the football club. Casemiro looks like he's going to be gone soon. Varane, apparently there's a fallout there. Jadon Sancho, 350 grand a week. Make him apologize. I ain't apologizing. Yeah, because as soon as you go into a dressing room full of egos, it's very hard to control them egos unless you're a top-class manager. Yeah, Ancelotti is the perfect manager for egos. Yeah, Zidane, perfect manager for egos. Yeah, because when you've got an ego dressing room, you don't really need to manage them, really. Yeah, if they're top players. Yeah, do you think Ancelotti is telling Modric how to play football? Like, come on.
Yeah, like, you know what's funny? Who did I watch yesterday? Someone. Oh, was it this morning? It was Mourinho. It was Mourinho, right? Mourinho. I seen this thing on Instagram this morning. It was freaking brilliant. Yeah, and Mourinho says, when a manager goes into a top club with top players, yeah, you don't tell the players how to play football. You know, you don't tell Zlatan how to play football. You don't tell Messi how to play football. What you do is you tell them, this is the way that I want to play football. This is the system. This is kind of what I want you to do. But ultimately, you go out and do it. And that's what top managers do. They have the authority to go in. They don't have to go into a football club and start telling players how to play football. They just go in and say, right, lads, this is my philosophy. This is how I want to play. When you get into this area, this is kind of what you do. But ultimately, you're the players. You go and perform for me, right? And that's what the players do. If the manager doesn't have the respect because they've not won anything in the game, and ultimately that's what it comes down to, right? If you're at work, right, and you get a new boss, and your boss comes in from a FTSE 100 company, £1 billion company, and he revolutionised that last company, and he comes into your company, says, "Hiya, my name's John. I used to work for this company. I turned them from a loss-making company into a massive profitable company, and I'll do it for you. You'll all get mad bonuses. You'll all be buzzing." You're going to go, all right, I'm going to fucking follow you. I'm going to do what you say. And even if we have some rough times, you've got the CV for it, buzzing. If you get some guy who goes, oh, yeah, I just fucking got promoted. You know what I mean? I've never done this before. We'll be in it together, lads. You're going to be like, right, okay, give him a week. And as soon as you start to see the results are not there, you're going to be like, who the fuck is this fraud? You know? And going back to my earlier point, yeah, about the Sackers and that, if these players want to leave, let me tell you something. Someone put it in the chat before. All Arsenal fans, and rightly so, gassing up Saliba. You think this guy is going to stay at Arsenal 2-3 years if he's not winning anything? Because you're the ones as Arsenal fans, by the way, gassing him up as world class. So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, Saliba's the best centre-back in the world or top 5 centre-backs in the world, and then not allow me to say, well, if you don't win anything in the next 2-3 years, you think he's going to stay there? And go, yeah, of course he is. He's proper Arsenal. No, he's not. He's not proper Arsenal. You know what I mean? You signed him for a couple of years ago. So this is the problem now. I feel like the next, because unfortunately for you, I don't think Arteta is going to get sacked anytime soon. But if you don't win the Premier League in the next 2 years or the Champions League in the next 2 years, you cannot tell me that some of these Arsenal players are not going to be going to their agent and going, football's a short career. I can't wait for this phase 10 to arrive. You know what I mean? I want to move. And the Salibas of this world, the Martinellis, the Sackers, even the Jesuses, maybe even Rice's, who knows? Are going to look at it and say, listen, football's a short career. You've got, 7 or 8 years at the top level, right? Because you normally break in when you're sort of 22, 23. And by the time you're 31, 32, clubs nowadays are trying to get rid of you. So you got 8 to 10 years. And how long are these players going to wait? So listen, I think it's the next 2 years for Arsenal. I think is huge, man. I think it's huge.
I agree. Big up everyone in the chat, man. 700 people inside. 200 likes is a shambles, man. You're moving like 29 in midfield. Like it's actually crazy. Also, make sure you sub to LB's channel. Links in the title. The pinned comment. Make sure you sub to that channel as well. It's one of my best mates. Yeah, him and his fiance set up a channel vlogging, traveling around the world and that. They're in Thailand at the moment. They were in Dubai the other day. So make sure you go and check that out. He's never done YouTube before. So bear with him with his camera work and all that. But he's got all the gadgets. He's got the drone and everything. Some of his videos are really good, actually. And he's getting bang on the Final Cut Pro editing. So, yeah, make sure you go and check him out. Let's get him up to 100 subs. He was on 14 yesterday. And they're currently on 72. So come on, 28 more and we'll get him to 100 subs, man. I was chatting to him last night. And he's well up for giving it a go as well. So, yeah, man. Make sure we help him out. We've got a good community here as well, people. So come on, let's get all over that. I'm also on with Rants at 5 o'clock, and then Henry's on here at 6:30. I'll probably do a watch along for Bilbao against Celta Vigo later on the other channel as well. We can actually watch some technically gifted footballers rather than this pace and power crap in the Premier League. And hopefully it's a better game than the West Ham one I did last night. But it is what it is. But anyway,
you did West Ham last night. I did. I did Karabakh versus Bayern Leverkusen because
I see that. I was like, what are you doing?
I'll tell you why. Yeah, it's because obviously we've spoke about this before. Like City in the next 18 months are going to have to think about signing a replacement for Kevin De Bruyne because Kevin De Bruyne's like 32, 33. He's getting a few injuries. So you don't want to wait until he's left. You want to sign a player, and there's only a few players in world football really that we can target. Musiala's one of them. Florian Wirtz is one of them. And I've never seen Florian Wirtz play an actual match. I've only ever seen him on like YouTube highlights and seen his goals and that. And he looks like a top player. Anyway, my chat, I'm sure your guys in the chat as well probably say the same thing. Saying that this Florian Wirtz kid is meant to be fucking incredible. And on top of that, I've not seen Leverkusen play under Xabi Alonso, and I've been really wanting to watch it. So I thought, you know what? It's Karabakh. They'll go there and they'll do him. It'll be a really exciting game, and they'll smash him. And bro, it was the most boring game I've ever seen. Florian Wirtz touched the ball about 2 times. He got subbed off in the 90th minute. And thankfully, there was a 92nd minute penalty for Leverkusen. So I seen a goal. But honestly, bro, it was the deadest game in the world, man.
Same as that West Ham one, mate. I was like, this is crap. And then right at the end, Paqueta scored a good goal. Yeah, the lino put it offside, but he was about 2 yards on. So VAR checked it, and obviously the goal was given. But other than that, mate, that game was shocking. But I've seen some good ones this week, man. I did the Tottenham-Chelsea game. I did that Letty Celtic. My mate who lives around the corner from me, he's Celtic. He went to the game. And I see him the day after. I said, oh, what a bad result that was. At least you got to see some goals, though. Because now I bet 6-0 out Letty. 25-1, he put a tenner on it. Yeah, covered his flight to Madrid from Malaga, covered his taxi to the hotel, paid for the hotel, paid for his ticket. He was buzzing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, hey, you don't want them top hoops on you, mate. They'll be saying, how are you betting against your own team and that? It's all negative and toxic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did Xhaka play in that game?
Yeah, pretty solid. Just kept things ticking. Leverkusen were poor, unfortunately. I was really looking forward to seeing, because you might know a bit more about this, but apparently there's rumours that he might take over Ancelotti when he leaves. But yeah, they were poor. But yeah, Xhaka, I mean, he just did what he normally does. He didn't really do too much going forward, but he just kept things ticking over. And it was pretty funny. He absolutely fucking went into some guy, and the referee got a yellow card out. I was like, fucking hell, obviously it's him. But yeah, he just started done standard, and I think Arsenal would love to have him back at Arsenal, mate, because
mate, I'll tell you something.
Underrated player.
I don't rate him at all. Yeah, I don't rate him at all. But the one thing I do say, he is light years clear of 29, mate. Yeah, and he's light years clear of Jorginho, who, by the way, is strolling around our midfield with the armband on.
Yeah. I think he got 14 goals and assists for you combined last year. How many years do you reckon it'll take Havertz to get 14 goals and assists combined for Arsenal? He's got one so far, hasn't he? Or one goal? Oh, he got one goal and assist because he assisted the Martinelli goal against City, didn't he?
Champions League 0-0. Premier League 11 games, 1-1.
Yeah.
EFL Cup 2 games, none and none. Community Shield, none and none.
So 2 GNA so
Emirates
far.
Cup, we're not going to include that, but that's none and none as well. So he's played, we won't include the Shield, 17 games, he's got 1-1.
Yeah.
But if you can't see what he's doing, mate, yeah, you don't understand football. He was misunderstood at Chelsea, Lewis. Do you know what I'm saying? Good one. Yeah. This guy hides behind the referee most of the game, so he can't get the ball. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, I'm bored of talking about him, mate. Yeah, he's number 29. I don't call him his name anymore. 29. Yeah. But anyway, Martinelli assisted Ake. Exactly. Let's talk about your team, man. Obviously, you've got a big game coming up. Chelsea are coming off of the back of a 4-1 win. That game was crazy, by the way. That game was just unbelievable. I had everything, man. I've seen people moaning about 21 minutes of stoppage time and all of that. Like, at the end of the day, I think they got pretty much every decision spot on in that game. And if it means it takes that long, yeah, rather than rushing it and getting it wrong, yeah, then I'm all for it. Yeah, at the end of the day, like every time there's a free kick outside the box, it takes over a minute to take a free kick these days. Yeah, so, you know, if people want to cry about it, maybe speed the game up and stop wasting time by taking a minute to take a free kick. And then when your team's losing, all of a sudden it takes 10 seconds to take the free kick. Like that game, there was 111 minutes of football, yeah? The ball was in play for 40 of them.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, crazy. But yeah, obviously you're coming off of the back of slapping up Bournemouth, coming off of the back of winning in the Champions League. And again, Erling Haaland can't stop scoring in that competition, but I'll take it you're confident going into this, mate. I mean, there's not many teams on the planet that you're probably worried about, is there?
No, we're looking good, man. We're looking good. Losing John Stones is a big blow. And I know people will be like, yeah, but you got players to cover him, but it's not that. You know, I know we've got good players to cover John Stones. It's nobody else can do what John Stones does in driving into that midfield and giving us that extra body. But we're playing well. Rodri coming back into the side, massive boost since he got suspended. We're scoring goals. Jeremy Doku is coming like a house on fire. No one expected him to be this good, including myself, and he's proven everybody wrong. He's we're just looking solid, man. We're looking solid, defensively solid. Midfield is solid. For, you know, Haaland scoring goals. You know, Erling Haaland, yeah, top 50 Champions League goal scorers of all time. He's the only player in the top 50, including Messi and Ronaldo, to have a goal more than every game. So he scores more than, you know, I mean, his record is a goal per 90 minutes or higher. The only player in the top 50 Champions League goal scorers. Yeah, you know I mean, and he's played at Dortmund. He's played at, I think, was it Salzburg before that? So people can say, oh, yeah, he's played at City. Everyone will score. Well, he done it at Dortmund and he done it at Salzburg. That is an unbelievable record.
How many goals is he on now in the Champions League?
I think he's on like 35. He's 20th in the all-time goal scorer. And if you compare his record to Mbappe, his record shits on Mbappe, like massively. So he's flaming. Apparently he's in bad form as well, which is wild. Great goal from outside the box as well. He's had a couple of them this season, which is nice to see. But yeah, listen, about the game on Sunday, I think really it's one of them. If we turn up, I mean, I say this about every game, right? So it gets a bit boring. But if City turn up, we'll win the game because we're just better than them. You know what I mean? We are better than them. The question is, will we turn up? We've got a good record at Stamford Bridge. But you look at what happened when Arsenal went there. Arsenal went there and didn't turn up properly. And they ended up paying the price and really should have lost the game. I was on another stream. I said, Arsenal didn't win the game against Chelsea because Chelsea were mint. Chelsea were all right. The reason Arsenal didn't win the game is because Arsenal were poor. By Arsenal standards, Arsenal were poor. If Arsenal turned up and played their best, Arsenal beat Chelsea, but they didn't. So obviously, say this about everyone, but obviously Chelsea do have a puncher's chance. They've got a couple of decent players in there. But for us, it's just about us. We got to turn up, play to our ability, and if we do that, we'll win the game. That's it. You know, it's just, this is the thing about the league. If City don't win the league this year, because of us, we've let ourselves down. Why? Because we're better than everybody else. It's not an arrogance thing. It's an obvious thing. We just won the treble. You know what I mean? Like, it's not arrogant. It's just obvious to say, if we don't win the league this year, it's likely because we just let ourselves down. If we don't win at Sunday, if we don't win at Chelsea on Sunday, it's likely because we let ourselves down. Now, a lot of things could come into that. Injuries, although I think we're okay on that front. Obviously, Kevin De Bruyne's coming back soon as well. Silly suspensions. Look at what happened when Rodri got injured. Suspended, sorry. You know what I mean? We crumble. So we just got to keep ourselves focus ourselves, turn up, and we should be chill, man. But I'm looking forward to the game. I think I've gone for a 3-0 City win. We got a good record at Stamford Bridge. And even though they beat Tottenham 4-1, they didn't look good, did they? They didn't look good. They made that very, very, very difficult. Very difficult.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they weren't great. They weren't great at all. And especially when they were playing a high line with 9 men. I mean, if that was Man City getting in 12 times, like they did, mate, that would have been a massacre. Like, can you imagine Erling Haaland getting on? Like, the thing is, Jackson's not like, well, Jackson is quick, but he ain't Erling Haaland quick. Sterling's quick, he ain't Erling Haaland quick. Them balls that they just missed out on, where the keepers come running out. If that's Erling Haaland, he's rounding the keeper and tapping it into an empty net twice. Yeah, plus the Jackson header, Erling Haaland scores that. Yeah, Haaland would have had a double hat trick in that game. Like, a bit mad. I think you'll batter him. I can't lie. I think you're doing by at least three, and I think they ain't really got any clinical player up front. Yeah, like Sterling played all right the other night. I thought when he was on the left wing, I thought he'd done all right. Yeah, I thought Cole Palmer played all right on the right side, but then Poch changed it and brought on Mudryk, and then put Sterling on the right and dropped Cole Palmer back a little bit further on the right, and it just didn't work. I know they ended up getting assists and all of that, and they won the game. But for me, that was more down to Tottenham, like just folding more than Chelsea having a bit of quality. Do you know what I mean? It was like, if you keep giving somebody enough chances, eventually they're going to score a goal.
Especially the quality of the chances that we're giving them. I mean, what was Ange doing? I mean, listen, I don't really want to like slag him off too much, because I think he's done a good job, but I have no idea what he was thinking, mate. Like, now the flip side to what Ange was doing is, well, if they would have sat back on the edge of the box for as long as they did, they would have lost anyway. Yeah, but what it does is it makes people look at you and go, what's he doing? You know, like the respect thing. So some of them players going in the dressing room thinking, why did we sit on the halfway line for 40 minutes or whatever it was, or 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it was, when we could have just defended deep? And that's what it is, really. You know what I mean? Because once the players lose their respect for the manager, it's very difficult to regain their respect. And I think Ferguson knew that better than anyone, because as soon as a player didn't respect him, he let him. You were out, because I think he knew he's probably one of the best managers of players and understanding players that the world has ever seen, in the sense that he knew that once a player disrespected him, that was it then. There's no going back. How many times, have you had like a massive row, like a proper fucking like big row with someone, and then just gone a couple of weeks later, we're busy mates again? You know what I mean? Even if you are like friends, you've still got that underlying thing of he's a dick. You know what I mean? So you know, once that's lost, it's gone. So will that impact Tottenham? I mean, I've just seen the Tottenham injuries, by the way. I know it's slightly going off topic, but their injury list now, I mean, we've got to play them in a couple of weeks, which, you know, I think they've missing Van der Ven. Maddison's out. Obviously, Romero's suspended for the City game as well when we play them. So
Udogie is suspended. Basuma's on 1 yellow card away from suspension. So, they're in a bit of bother, mate. They're in a bit of bother. But again, it's what happens when you don't do what's required in the transfer window. They had all their eggs in that one basket of the players that they've signed and put into the first team, and they look good, fair enough. But the drop-off is mad. Yeah, so you needed a squad, and I think they had a net spend of 40 mil. Right? I mean, that's just ridiculous. And I see Sava talking about this. The stories are already coming out. They ain't got much money to spend in January and all of that. Round and round and round they go with that football club, mate. That football club's a joke. Like, honestly, that football club is a joke. You've got their owner sitting there the day after they get knocked out the League Cup in the first round, saying, we've got our Tottenham back. Yeah, you're damn right you have. You got knocked out the cup at the first attempt. And they're all happy. But again, that comes back to brainwashing, PR and vibes and culture and all this crap. But anyway, it's what it is. Big up to HM, man. Big up to HM for the donation as well, man. I mentioned Luton against United. Before we wrap up, let's have a little chat about that. Man United are a joke. That club is absolutely finished. Do you know what I thought was funny? You got Bruno sitting there doing up fake tears on the little step. Have you seen that video? Yeah. Like, this is the guy that was running around giving it all of that after he scored a penalty. You got Garnacho running around shushing him. Did you see the tifo that they did? Yeah, Theatre and Nightmares. Did you see it?
I didn't see it.
Before the game, they did a tifo. It said Theatre and Nightmares. And then the guy who scored the goal is 17 years old, the winning goal, and his name's Rooney.
Yeah, I've seen that guy. Oh, I've just seen it on Google. Now
hilarious. That club is a joke, mate. Absolute joke. And now they got Luton. Yeah, can you imagine? Right, Luton have created more big chances this season than Arsenal, by the way. right? Can you imagine if they go to Old Trafford and beat them? Like,
well,
mate,
this is the thing, right? I was thinking about this morning, right? As a United fan, I think I'd actually rather play a better team because you're that bad at the moment that, like, say you're playing Arsenal or City, right, and you get beat off. Because look out when they got beat off City, that there was annoyed, there was frustrated, but ultimately, no United fan expected to beat City, right? So if they get beat this weekend off like a City or an Arsenal, it's kind of like, yeah, it's chill, like they expect that. They're under so much pressure this weekend to win. I mean, they have to win, and some would even argue a win is not good enough. They have to win with style. They'll score 3 or 4 goals. They are under so much pressure this weekend, mate. Like, it's actually unbelievable. And if I was Luton, you've got to go to Old Trafford and shithouse as much as possible whatever you can possibly get, mate. Because the longer you stay in the game, the more frustrated the United fans are going to get. Because you're starting to see some United fans turn on Ten Hag. You know, you're hearing boos, of course. You know, at some games at Old Trafford now when
they're subbing off their striker and they're booing him every time they sub
exactly. So if I was Luton, my main aim there, obviously the main aim clearly is to win the game, right? Yeah, that's obvious. But my main aim is if I can get into half time 0-0, I think then, you know, you reset, you work out how United are playing. Where can we target them in the second half? United fans will probably get on the backs of United players at half time if you're not beating Luton Town. But yeah, mate, they're under so much pressure. And that Ten Hag, I think he's on very, very thin ice. Of course, the game against Copenhagen did get screwed by the red card. I don't know what you think. I've not heard any shit. I thought it was a red card, man. I know people will say
it was a red card. Yeah, I don't know what they were moaning about.
People are like, he didn't mean it. What?
He literally moved his leg. He could have touched the ball. But instead, he pushes his leg over there. The guy's ankle was already going wonky anyway. So it made it look worse than it was. But everyone's going, oh, the game is gone. We know that. But by the letter of the law, yeah, intent is not in the letter of the law. Yeah, it's not about intent. Yeah, that's not a thing in the rule book. Yeah, it's did you endanger an opponent? Yes, you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. It's a red card. Like, yes, it does look harsh because the guy's ankle was twisted and you've landed on it. But why are you trying to do that when you could have literally got the ball anyway? The ball was right in front of you and you spread your leg over there. Like, no need to do it, mate. Yeah, and then do you know what's even more mad? Yeah, as soon as that red card happened, literally a couple of minutes later, the news came out about his brother. Yeah, and all these Man United fans are going mad. Oh, why are they dropping it now? Why wouldn't they drop it now? What would you rather them lie? What? Because to make you feel better. Man United fans are as bad as Arsenal, mate. Like, honestly, they'd rather be lied to non-stop than actually have reality checks. Yeah, that's why both of them football clubs are in the mud, mate. Yeah, Man United and Arsenal would never, ever, ever get back to what they used to be. And it's crazy. But yeah, for me, it's a clear red.
I thought it was a red card. Listen, this thing about I've seen everyone saying he didn't mean it. Like, since when has that ever been a thing? Like, if you do a bad tackle, you don't go to the ref and say, "Oh yeah, but ref, guess what? I didn't mean it. Sorry, I broke his leg, ref, but I didn't mean it. So it's not a red card." Like, listen,
it's like if you have a car accident and you're at fault for the accident. Well, I didn't mean it, so don't take those. No, come on. Why are you putting my insurance up, man? I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean it, mate. Yeah, like, come on, man. Nah, serious. Their club is absolutely mudded, and yeah, I don't even know like where they go from here, mate. Because everything that they do is just wrong. Like, every single day, there's some bad news coming out of the club, and I don't even know, man. They spent so much money, £1 billion since Ferguson left. They're absolutely a million miles behind City and even Arsenal and even the Spurs. There's so much pressure. There's so much expectation. Have they got the right manager? They've got Rashford on 350k a week or whatever. He shouldn't even be at the football club. Sancho's on strike. Anthony's shit. You know, actually, right, I say this, yeah. The one player I actually feel a little bit sorry for is that Højlund, because I watched him a few times now and I think he looks all right. You know what I mean? He looks like he's making the right moves. And the guy just gets very little service. I know he scored a couple of goals the other day. Gets very little service. Yeah, I just think that they need to strip the club back. But the problem is, if they do that, it's gonna push it back by another 5 years. You know what I mean? And you know what's mad, right? They've not won a title since 2013. They're not going to win a title in the next 2, 3, 4 years. They're going to go probably 15 years. 15 years without winning a title. Imagine if you would have said to a United fan after 2013, after they won the league with Van Persie, you're not going to win a league for another 15 years. Oh, by the way, you're not going to win any Champions Leagues. The best thing you're going to win is an FA Cup or Europa League. They'll probably think, fuck you on about?
Get the men in white coats to come and collect them.
But this is what happens, Lee. Life moves rapid, man. Life goes quick.
Oh, it's the same.
Seasons go by.
2004, when we went invincible and won the league at Spurs, if any fan, Arsenal fan, said, well, that's it, we ain't going to win another one for 20 odd years at least, he would have looked at him and said, shut up, mate, what are you waffling about? Here we are. That's how quick it goes. 20 years has just gone like that.
So quickly. And that's why, I'm trying to enjoy every single moment I've got as a City fan watching this incredible football. Why? Because I'm not an idiot. I know it's not going to last forever. I know that, we're going to go through bad periods again. Probably when Pep leaves, we'll have a bit of a dip. But also, you've got to make sure the club's ran in the right way and you make the correct decisions. And I don't know if you've seen that Ian Holloway interview, bro, but I think he was spot on. Your club lives and dies on transfers.
Yep.
Why? Because they're the players who are playing on a football pitch. You make the right transfers, club will be successful. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll win everything. Maybe you won't even win anything, but you'll be in the right direction. If you make the wrong transfers, a la Manchester United, Chelsea, for example, your club ain't going nowhere. Your club lives and dies on transfer activity. And if you look at the transfers that Man United have done over the last decade, that is why they failed. They'll talk about the Glazers. It's not their, I don't know whose fault it is, who signed the players, but the reason they failed is because they've signed the wrong players. They went out doing, they've been through so many processes. They did the English only, you know what I mean, where they were signing the fucking Wan-Bissakas, Zaha, I know Zaha's now Ivory Coast, but Zaha's, the Luke Shaws, they got the Maguires in. Yeah, they got all these players in. Then they went, oh, that's not worked. Let's go for the big names. The Di Marias, the Falcaos, the Zlatans, the Schweinsteigers. And that didn't work. And then they've just been doing some random shit. And then Ten Hag's coming and gone, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll sign a bunch of Eredivisie players. That's not worked. You know what I mean?
It's a mess, isn't it? It is a big mess, mate. And it's going to cost a lot of money to fix it. It's going to cost a lot of money to fix it. But listen, we are going to wrap this up, guys. Make sure you are subbed to Lewis's channel. It's pinned in the title. The title of the video, it's LB. So make sure you get on that. Make sure you go to the pinned comment in the chat as well. Yeah, Connor and Nicole's channel. Go and sub to that channel. They're on 79 subs. I want that up to 100 by the end of the day. So come on, people. Get following them. So make sure you check that out. And I'm going to be back with rants a little bit later. I might drop a video actually on this second channel about James Maddison being out for up to 3 months. And I will be doing a watch along potentially for Bilbao against Celta Vigo later. We can watch some technically gifted footballers in La Liga rather than this pace and power crap that I'm watching in the Premier League every week. But there we go. And what you got coming up, bro?
I'm going to go gym now. And then I'm on with Goonie talking about the Chelsea City game at 4 on his channel. I'm on with Chelsea Fan TV 5. One of the lads from there, he's got his own channel, so I'm going on his channel. And then I might do some Lucas Paqueta news just dropping here now. So I might do something on that. And then I'm going to take tomorrow off. I'm not going to do it. The games, you see the games this weekend, fucking shite, aren't they? So I'm going to...
Arsenal should be beating tomorrow. Burnley. Man United should be beating like Luton, but you're right. The games ain't great this weekend, apart from the Sunday games.
Yeah,
did you know this? Yeah, I didn't know this. Right, Nottingham Forest are unbeaten in 20 games at home in the Premier League.
Well, you know what, Lee? Yeah, I watched a lot of Forest this year. I don't know why. It just turned out I've watched a lot of Forest. They're a decent team. They're a decent team, mate. And I feel that they've been very unlucky in a lot of games. I remember watching them against you boys opening day of the season. And they scored, didn't they, to make it 2-1. And then they just kind of did nothing for the last 10 minutes. But they weren't too bad that day. Should have beat Man United. Who else have watched them again? I've watched them a couple of games. Same with Wolves. I watched Wolves and they beat us. But I've watched them in a couple of games as well. Should have beat United. Should have beat Liverpool. There's a couple of teams down there who just haven't really got the rub of the green. And Forest, mate, that a one-year guy up top, I really like him, mate. He's a
problem, isn't he?
He's a handful. You don't know how to deal with it. I really like him. But they're a decent team, mate. They're a decent side.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Cooper, mate. He's got them on the Mitsubishi turbos and all that back in the day. Yeah, like, mate, he looks like he's just come back from Ibiza every time I see him, bro. Like, it's absolutely clapped. I swear down, that geezer is high as a kite. Or having a come down, one of the two. Listen, who's live that we like and we can redirect him because there's 600 odd people still in here. Yeah, come on real quick because I want to go. I'm starving. My food's nearly ready. So who's live that we like? We have to like them or we're going nowhere.
I've only got you and Judge Mo. They're the only two people I've got live.
Is that it? Yeah,
I've
see,
got
I
no
just
one
went on
else.
mine. There's no one live.
Fucking people chilling, innit?
It's always the same. Like on a Friday, I don't know why. Everyone just schedules their streams for the exact same time later on. It's like, cool, whatever. But there we go. Man said Goldbridge. Yeah, good one. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do. Rance is live. Rance is live in 45 minutes. We're going redirect to him later. There we go. 45 minutes to Rance's stream. We're direct to him. I'm actually on with him at 5 o'clock as well, yeah? So make sure you come and join in with that. I'm on here with Henry at 6:30. And I'm going to drop a video about Madders. He's out for up to 3 months. And it's not good for Spurs. That's really bad news for them because he's been brilliant this season. And then I'll be doing most likely Athletic Bilbao Celta later as well on that channel. So make sure you sub to Lee Reacts. I'm literally millimeters away from 21k. Make sure you sub to Lewis, link in the title. And yeah, man, we're out of here, people. Adios. Ciao.